Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to part two of the How to Coach Yourself training. So last week we did a part one of How to Coach Yourself training, where we dove into 5 things that you can specifically do to kind of moving forward. Because I guess to kind of dial it back and to get into the real reason why I decided to put together this training and this resource for you guys is that I think far and beyond anything else that I encounter when it comes to issues with people in this group or people I talk to when they struggle with nutrition, recovery, things like that, is basically the accountability. Really, it's not the lack of understanding. It's not the lack of knowledge when it comes to nutrition. It's just fucking doing it. So I kind of wanted to pivot a little bit here the last couple of weeks and focus on things that we can do to actually keep ourselves accountable, or things that we can do maybe to help other people keep us accountable, and basically just structuring our lives in a way that we can really help ourselves do the things that we know that we need to do, and just start doing them. So like I said, part one from last week. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in learning more about being held accountable and keeping yourselves accountable, go check out part one, which was done last week. If you have trouble finding that, just send me a message and I'll tag you in the training. So in that training, we kind of went through 5 things that you could do specifically. And today we're going to dive into part two. Now, part two is probably going to be a little bit short. There's not a whole lot to go through today. This is more of like an announcement slash launch of something that I've been working on in the background. It's been a little bit quiet in the group the past week just because I've had my head down working on something to bring you guys something tangible that I can give to you. And this is it. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. So what I decided to put together for you guys was a free tracker. So one thing that I really do with all my clients is that we track everything, really. So one of the best things about a tracker, I find, is just the visual, right? So if you're tracking anything, it doesn't really matter what it is. There's some kind of like stimulation or kind of benefit we get when we actually kind of check a box, right? Kind of the same thing same thing with a to-do list. Same thing with just hitting our goals. You're kind of just checking a box and marking it off. So this is part of the reason why we've done the tracker, and just kind of seeing where you fall off, where you do well. Like maybe maybe you're not really sure why you're falling off, but then when you use a tracker, you find out, hey, I'm really good Monday to Friday, but weekends not so hot. So then it kind of puts a spotlight on where you need to actually put your work in. You know that you're good Monday to Friday, so you don't really need to get more dialed in on a Tuesday. Maybe it's like, hey, let's try to not make our Saturdays so miserable and so bad, and that'll help us move forward and hit our goals. So basically what I did is I set up a tracker here for the next 4 months. So we're doing September, October, November, and December. So we're going to start from left to right. First, so for the month of December, really what I wanted to set up was like, okay, let's think about our goals, okay? It's really good to just do the base level things which are good for us, like the things listed in this tracker if you're having a look at it. Good and fine to do, but ultimately when we're trying to move forward, I think thinking about goals is one of the most important things. Like what are you really hoping to achieve, right? It's like, okay, it's great that we're going to do all the things like sleep, make sure we work out, track our food, get our water in and go for our daily walks, things like that, all the good stuff. But what are we doing it for? Are we doing it for weight loss? Are we trying to build muscle? Are we really working on a specific lift or a specific skill when it comes to CrossFit? Anything like that. I think doing all those tasks with a goal in mind is actually what's going to start moving you forward. So I left a space here for 3 goals that you can set yourself for the next 4 weeks, basically. So 1, 2, 3 goals that you'll be working on over the next 3 weeks. It's not totally inclusive of like, hey, well, break that down into tasks. Like, what are you actually going to do to work towards those goals? For example, if your goal is like, hey, I really want to learn to muscle up, it's like, well, it doesn't include any kind of special training for that or anything. But as long as you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, it's not, oh, I did the open this year, I didn't get a muscle up. Maybe next year I'll get a muscle up, but then you spend the whole 12 months and you don't really actually train a muscle up. Maybe it comes to you in a workout once or twice and you kind of do it, but not really. I actually want to set tangible goals that we're going to work on. So you'll have the ability to set a goal for yourself, set 3 goals for yourself actually, for every given month. I usually personally try to spread out my goals across different domains in my life. So like maybe I'll have one specifically for CrossFit movements, like, hey, I want to be able to string 5 or 6 muscle ups together. That should be my goal for the next month. Or maybe I really want to hit a 200-pound snatch, something like that. Then on my second goal will be like, let's lose 5. And maybe goal 3 is maybe I'm a bit stressed, so I'm going to really focus on journaling this month, just as an example. So you're going to set those goals, and then we get into the actual tracker. So I've set the tracker up here for you to track 6 tasks, okay? So one is to drink 3 to 4 liters of water a day, 30-minute walk every single day, journal every single day, do a WOD every single day. Now, I know that's going to be hard for some of you, doing 2 a days. I know most CrossFitters have an addiction going to the gym, so I know doing the WOD is not the hard part, or like going to the gym is not the hard part. If anything, it's staying away from the gym, and that's the intention behind tracking the WOD. Is that if you've done a workout 7 days in a row, it's probably time to take a day off. Okay. Then we have getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep tonight or each day, and then also tracking your food. So tracking your food doesn't necessarily mean like setting up macros and doing it. It could also mean like documenting. So if you want to take like pictures of your food, write down in a food journal, any of those things can also be very effective. Basically, what we really want is just you to understand exactly what it is that you're eating. So basically how this is set up is that every time you do these things, you're going to get a check mark. You're going to get a different emoji for that day. So as you start progressing towards these, you're going to be keeping a total at the end over here. So let's say, we did really good on the water, but we haven't done anything else in the last couple of days. You'll see over here that it'll give your total for the month. So if you hit every single day this month, it'll be a total of 30. It'll have your current streak and your longest streak. So if you went a day without drinking water, and then you're now 3 days in a row, so your current streak is 3, but your biggest streak was 8. So obviously we want to kind of try to maximize these numbers as much as possible, except for the WOD. I don't want to see anyone working out 30 days in a row. Okay, 30 WODs in a row for the month of September is not good. You might feel okay, but your recovery is probably not the best. So make sure we kind of break that up each week with at least 1 or 2 days off, to make sure that we're actually getting the rest that we need, we're building the muscle, and we're recovering for the next workout. So things like that. I think that's a good way to keep track. And that's about it. I mean, it's a pretty simple tracker. All it is just tracking your habits. That's why it is called the habit tracker. I've set this up for the next 4 months. I'm going to be actually making this available to you guys completely free. All you got to do is just comment either on this video, on this training, send me a message. I'll also be dropping a post either today or tomorrow about this, in which you can just comment on that, and I'll send you a free tracker. You're free to use this as much as you want. You can send this to your friends, do whatever. The only thing is that when I do send it to you, you'll have to make a copy. You can't work off the live version. A whole bunch of people working off the same document, but you'll have to make a copy and you can get it for yourself. It should work the same. I know it's kind of like a 75 hardish vibe, because the walk kind of considered like an outdoor workout. You have your water. You're doing a journal instead of reading. I like the journal specifically because it kind of keeps me accountable to my goals. I actually use that journaling thing to say like, okay, where am I with my goals? What did I do today to progress it? If any of you out there are struggling with journals as well, I have a prompt summary. So basically like prompts for nutrition, prompts for goal setting, prompts for personal things, for life, all those kinds of things. Basically just questions to help you journal, because I know myself when it comes to journaling, if you ask me just to dear journal, Sally was mean to me today or something. So I struggle with journaling and thinking and brainstorming myself. So I kind of need those prompts to go off of. Like, for example, like what are 3 things that you've maybe didn't do so well in the last week, right? So it gives me something to kind of write about. So yeah, that's it. So more so, this was a kind of an announcement rather than a training. I think it is a pretty straightforward. A copy of this. If you do need any help, please reach out and we'll get you sorted. Tell me what you think about this. If this is something you don't really find that helpful, let me know. If you find that this is something that's actually super helpful and that you maybe want more of, also let me know as well. I really want to be able to tangibly give things to you guys that are going to help you move forward. I really believe that one of the biggest things that we struggle with is just accountability and just moving forward and getting the right things done, because it's not like we don't know how to eat properly. We know roughly what we need to do. You can get into the weeds about nutrition timing and when should I get my protein, how much should I eat, those kind of things, but generally speaking, people know how to know what they need to do, whether it be to lose weight, build muscle, all those kinds of things. So I wanted to build something that actually help you guys move forward with that. So that being said, I'll end the training there. Any questions, feel free to reach out, comment on the video below. And if you want a copy of this, let me know and I'll get it into your hands as soon as I can. I hope this is helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next live video.